This is stunning, absolutely stunning. I've never been in here before. I've passed the building many times. I'm kind of blown away a little bit, to be honest. I'm in Alexandria, and this was once the Argyll Motor Factory. It's just kind of typical of the kind of interiors that they built in the early 20th century. It's just, you know, marble, decorated tiles, this kind of flooring. It's just beautiful, you know. If you have a factory and you're maybe trying to attract custom, then you want to make the inside of your factory as beautiful as possible, and wow, that's exactly what they did. The Argyll Motor Factory, it was really quite a short-lived venture. It actually opened here in 1906, and it went into liquidation just 2 years later because of any number of reasons. There was quite a few reasons for that. They'd originally built the Argyll Motor, I think it was in Hosier Street in Glasgow. They moved here with all sorts of, to build this factory, and they had great plans, hoping for, you know, 20,000 motors getting made every year, but it just didn't happen. They weren't selling the volume that they had anticipated, and there was other kind of issues that just eventually led to the demise of the factory. It did change owners, I think, a few times, so that they did continue making the Argyll Motor after 1908, but it just wasn't really happening. They weren't making the numbers they were hoping for, and I think it was in 1914 that the factory eventually closed. It was sold to the Admiralty in 1914, and I think for a few years it performed a number of tasks. It manufactured munitions, I'm sure, for the war effort in the First World War, and at one point it later became a factory that made torpedoes. But it's now a shopping centre, and I have to tell you, this is worth I don't think I've ever seen a better shopping centre than this, and this is worth a visit. It really is. I think they continue to make the Argyll Motor after this building was sold on. I think production went back to the Hosier Street factory in Glasgow, and the kind of production carried on for, I'm not sure of my dates, but it could have been up to the 1930s, probably making small numbers of the Argyll Motor. And just on the outside, just above the entrance of this building, which I'll show you shortly, they've got a lovely carved bit of stone that shows, amongst other things, a motor car, presumably one of the Argyll motor cars. I was going to start my bit out there, but there's a seagull out there that's got it in for me. So I thought it was safer to do a bit in here, and I'm glad I did, you know, it's absolutely stunning. So as I say, I'm in Alexandria. I'm doing a walk that I've done quite a few times over the years, and I've always really enjoyed it. I haven't done it for a while. Starting in Alexandria and ending in Killearn. You know, it's not for a lot of folk, this isn't going to be a great walk, because there's quite a few miles on a narrow road before we reach Cameron Muir, and then there's only about 3 miles on the Muir, and then we've got another few miles on road towards Killearn, and there's always issues with traffic and what have you. Sometimes narrow country roads are nice, although I think on the way to Cameron Moor, I seem to remember huge lorries. I think there was a quarry up that way. I don't know if there still is. And occasionally you had to make sideways dives into the hedgerow, just get out of the way. But the little section, the few miles that are on Cameron Moor, I've always enjoyed it for some reason. It's not that high. Probably about 124 metres high. I think there's going to be pretty decent views, and I think maybe it's just a contrast between the two road sections where you suddenly feel you're out in open, and that feeling of perhaps freedom just is superb. So we'll get on our way and do that, and maybe in Killearn we'll be able to kind of fit in a pint of beer. So one thing I meant to say was that I think I've titled the video "The Road by Auchencarroch," because the road passes by a steading called Auchencarroch. It's just such a lovely word. It's worth doing a video just so that you can say the word Auchencarroch. It's kind of perhaps a typical Scottish word. The C and the H aren't pronounced K. You get some people when they pronounce the word loch, which is also a CH, they say loch. No, it's not loch, it's a loch. You have this thing going on with the back of your throat where you go, Auchencarroch. It's a good word to say if you've maybe got a bit of phlegm, you know. So enough chat. Let's go on our way. Well, we're starting to get great views now. It's Ben Lomond, you can see behind me, and Conic Hill and a whole load of other stuff going on. It's just stunning. Sun's out. It was a wee bit showery earlier on. I managed to catch one of the showers, but they're quick to pass. So we've now come off that quite lengthy section on road, which was quite unpleasant in places. There was a number of bin lorries. I think I mentioned earlier on something about a quarry in the area. Years ago, I could be wrong, it might have been landfill way back then, but I think maybe now it could be landfill, hence all the bin lorries. But once we get away from all that traffic, it was just a lovely little quiet country road. And there really is something very pleasant about wandering on a quiet country road, where you start to get lovely views to the north, and you could sort of lose yourself for a while. It really is very therapeutic, if that's the word. This track here, we're actually on the John Muir Way just now. I think we will be leaving or parting company with it at some point, but this is an interesting track because in quite a few places it's made up of well positioned and deliberately positioned rough cobbles, indicating that this was a route, you know, hundreds of years ago. In places there is also patches of tarmac indicating that it has been tarmacked more recently, and this may well have been a road at one time. Not sure, but it's been a route for donkey's years. I wonder where that term came from, donkey's ears. Might be donkey's ears, not years. But anyway, we're more or less the top of the moor's just up there. It's not that far, and we'll kind of get ourselves right into the midst of things and get unhindered views of the landscape to the north. Oops. It's just wonderful. It's just what a great day it is, and what a wonderful walk. Hello sheep. Bye for now. Well, just having a quick lunch stop here. I didn't really film an awful lot on top of the moor because it was raining. I anticipated the odd shower, and there was just a little bit. There was a few more showers than I kind of hoped for. I'm getting eaten alive as well. The midges, oh my goodness, what? Also, the views to the north, towards Ben Lomond, there was sort of power lines in the way. Just kind of small power lines, you know, but they always seem to be in the way, you know. Could they not put them on the other side of the track? Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting hassled by too many insects here. Oh, dearie me. Right. Anyway, So I've got savoury eggs. They're not Scotch eggs. I don't know if there's some kind of oh my god, how do you open these? You know, you get some plastic packaging which is nigh impossible to open without a pair of scissors. You sometimes get a little kind of thing that you can pull up. In fact, is that one there? No. But on the whole, it's just that they're very difficult. How am I supposed to open this? How the flip am I supposed to open this? Oh my goodness, right. Hello, is that 101? It's about these Scotch eggs. I can't flip and open them. Send a helicopter. Oh wait a minute, I'm in. Yeah, I don't know why they don't call them Scotch eggs. Maybe that's a protected name. Maybe they've got to. Maybe Scotch eggs have got to be made in Scotland. I don't know. But these are savoury eggs. Not that I'm trying to mimic another YouTube person, a YouTuber. Something to do with Scotland and mountains and stuff like that, you know. He eats Scotch eggs now and then. Dear me. But these will be far better than his. Instead of a whole egg surrounded by that kind of meat-like stuff, I think this is cut up egg, because you wouldn't get eggs that small anyway. Okay. But not Scotch. Yeah, on top of the moor there was a lot of bog myrtle. When you see it growing, there's generally a lot of it, and there was a lot of it up there. It's a lovely plant. If you take one of the leaves and really squash it and rub it between your fingers, it's such a beautiful smell. It really is a lovely smell. In fact, I should maybe rub it on my skin to try and ward off some of these insects. I've actually got suntan lotion on. I don't know what the effect of maybe the suntan lotion and the bog myrtle will react together in some strange way. That's a big trip. Anyway, I'm just going to get thrown into these, and then I'm going to get out of here because it's just got a lot of insects in it. That's the thing about the countryside, it's full of insects and trees and stuff like that. I'll probably say another few words just as we hit the road. It's not far from the road. Once we hit the road, there's traffic and stuff, and if I don't say a few words before then, I'll see you in the pub. Okay. Very hazy ale or beer. I'm thinking it may be a keg beer as well, which I'm inclined to think shouldn't be hazy at all. This is the old mill in Killearn. I've made it. Not sure about that at all, but I'll drink it just to be sure. I was going to include an order on the survey map with the route for today's walk, but I'm not going to bother because I had forgotten just how dangerous the road section is when you come off the moor, round about Finnich Glen, the Devil's Pulpit kind of stuff, you know. The road there was just very dangerous to walk on. You know, they built these roads probably hundreds of years ago for horses and carts. There wasn't any need for the provision for pedestrians. And now cars, white vans, they just go up one heck of a speed. There's no pavement and there's barely enough room for you to move aside. And they don't generally care that much, a lot of them, especially the van drivers. They're just concerned with getting to their next destination and delivering whatever they're delivering at speed. You're just somebody that's in the way, you know. I'm standing there looking at them and thinking, no, you're in my way. But I will step aside because any collision between you and me is going to end badly for me. But it's just, as such, I'm not going to recommend the walk at all. I mean, the top of the moor was beautiful, it absolutely was, but the road section makes the whole thing just, I was going to say not doable, but just unrecommendable, if that's a word. Managed to get the comfiest seat in the whole place. Right beside a kindergarten or a nursery or something. There's kids running amok. Just over the fence. I was in a bar in Partick probably a week or two ago, and I got a pint of some keg beer, and again it was hazy, and it also had a bit of a kind of smell about it, and I sort of persevered with it for a couple of sips, and I thought, nah, I'm not drinking that. I took it back up to the counter and I had to explain to the guy, you know, this is a keg beer, it shouldn't be hazy and it shouldn't smell like that. You know, you have second thoughts about going back to a place like that. I'll not tell you where it was. Oh goodness. I've got about an hour before the bus. Anyway, that's a walk over. I'm absolutely wrecked. I'm just going to sit here and I don't know what I'll do. I'll just sit here and moan about my beer, I think. I hope you enjoyed the walk. Some of the views were absolutely stunning. I hope maybe some of them I managed to get them. There's a wee bit of wind up there, so there'll be a wee bit of camera shake. You really don't know till you get home what they're going to be like, you know, what the footage is going to be like. So, fingers crossed. I'm Eddie Burns. Bye for now.